Hello and what's up everyone? Myself Piyush Das from second year AI and DS department. I welcome you all to this video. In this video, we are going to understand the solution of a very first problem titled as same array. So before proceeding towards the solution, it is very essential for us to understand what is the problem statement, what the problem wants us to do. So in this given question, there is a guy named Aman who has an array S, an array T of a given size n. Now what is size n? N is the total number of elements present in S and T. And what is the question is if all the elements in the given array S is equal to all the elements in array T. And if they are equal, it results a true value. And so hence the question same array. And here is the input format. Uh, The first input should be integer t containing the number of test cases. So what are test cases? Test cases are a group of conditions that needs to be satisfied for the execution of the program. Or in simple words, one can also say it contains all the possible inputs for the proper execution of the program. Then we have the integer n specifying the length of the array, the total number of elements present in the array, then the array s, array t. Here we are also given some of the constraints, and output should be either true or false. If both the arrays are same, then the output should be true, else it should be false. Now let's understand it with the help of an example given here. Here 1 is the number of test cases. Total number of elements are 4. And for array S, we have inputted the elements as 1, 7, 5, and 6. And for the array T, we have elements as 7, 5, 6, and 1. Now you can see carefully that all the elements in S and all the elements of T are exactly the same, just that they have been arranged in a different order. They have been reversed. So we get the output as true because both the arrays are exactly the same. In the contest, you're expected to write your code over here and select your language in which you are writing your code and then run the code. If all these test cases are successfully If all the test cases work successfully, then you need to submit the code. Now that we have understood the problem statement, let's understand the logic or the algorithm of how we are going to work. So for the array S, we have the elements 1, 7, 5, and 6. And for the array T, we have these many elements. Now what we will do is, we will arrange the array S in the ascending order. And similarly, we are going to arrange the array T again in the ascending order. And we will subtract the first element of array S with the array. So after arranging both the arrays in ascending order, what we will do is we will simply subtract the first element of array S with the first element of array T, which will result in a 0 value. Then we will subtract the second element of array T with the second element of array S. Again, it will give us 0. And this process will continue until we get the value 0 and hence returning the value as true, explaining that both the arrays are equal or same. Now that we have understood the logic as well as, now let's move forward to the code. Okay, so this is the solution to our problem, which I have written in C language. Particularly, I've written in C language as we are very well versed with this language, as we have studied this in our previous year. So let's start with the first line. Here I have specified two header files. The first is standard input and output, which are used for getting inputs from the user and showing output to the users. Then we have the standard library. This is also a header file. So the second header file is a standard library. This is used for many utilities functions and also memory allocation, which we will further understand in a program. The first function that we can find in a program is compare. So the return type over here is integer, and the two arguments which are passed here are constant void a and constant void b. So what exactly the function does is it simply subtracts the value of a with the value of b. It simply takes the difference and returns back the value. Moving to the next function, that is check arrays. Over here we have three arguments. The first is array 1, array 2, and integer n. N is the total number of elements of both the arrays S and T. Now over here you can see I've used standard library function called as qsort. What this function does is it simply sorts the given array 1 and 2 in the ascending order. And this is the actual format or the syntax of writing it. Here you can see array 1, size n, size of int, and compare. Now you can see that this compare function is linked over here. And some of you have also might have seen that I have used a pointer over here. The pointer is used to point to different data types, and over here the pointer is pointing to the integer. If you don't want, you can actually also use different sorting methods like bubble sort, insertion sort, merging sort, many more. But the conclusion is you want both the arrays to be sorted in either of the ways. Then we run a for loop wherein we compare the first element of array 1 with the first element of array 2. And if both are, then we run a for loop wherein we compare the first element of array 1 with the first element of array 2. And if they are not equal, then it returns a value as 0. And if they are same, it returns the value as 1. Then we have the actual main method, that is the void main. Over here we have initialized num test cases, asks the user to enter the number of test cases, accepted the value. Then we run a while loop. Uh, this has to be run that many times equal to the accepting the number of test cases. This we have here the while loop, as this has to be executed those many times specified by the user again. Here we have initialized the value int n, total number, which is total number of elements in both the arrays. Then we ask the user to enter the elements of array s, and for this we run a for loop I0, I less than n, and I plus plus scanf, and here we get its value. Then we also ask the user to enter the elements of array t, and similarly we again run a for loop. And then at the end we call the function check arrays to check if both the arrays are then at the end we call the check arrays functions, passing its arguments to check if both the arrays are same or not. Then at the last we have we call the check arrays to check if the arrays have. Then at the end we call the function check arrays to sort both the arrays s and t and to return true or false given upon the condition if they are equal or not. So now let's understand the flow of the program as to how the working. So now let's understand the actual flow of the program, how the different parts of the program are being executed. So we all know the very first part gets executed is the main method. So over here, the number of test cases are given by the user, and we run the while loop. Then the total number of elements which are again specified by the user. Then we also ask for the elements of array s, then the elements of array t, and we get both the values of the respective arrays. Then at the end we call the function check arrays. Now what happens here is okay, so when the function check arrays is called, our array s and array t are passed as arguments along with integer n. So what this function will actually do is it will sort the array s in ascending order, then again sort the array t in the ascending order using again the compare function. Now what is compare? It simply subtracts the value of the first, that is a, with the second one, and it is linked with the qsort function over here. Then we run a for loop to check if the first element of array s is equal to the first element of array t. If yes, they are equal, it returns a value 1. If they are not equal, then it returns a value 0. And at the very end, we see that if we get the value as 1, then we have to then at the very end we simply print true if we get the value of result as 1, and if we don't get the value of result as 1 or we get it as 0, then we print as false. So this was all about the solution of our problem. If you like this video, do consider hitting the like button and to stay updated. So this was all about the solution to the given problem. So if you like this video, do consider smashing the like button, and to stay updated with more fun and interesting challenges by Shastra, please do considering subscribing our channel. Thank you.